So on those knees, let's tuck the toes under and push those hips forward so we got that nice full hip extension. Hands are coming behind the head and we're gonna do a swimmer. So in this position, I want you to first drive the elbows back. We're gonna slowly open those arms out into a Y. From here, flip your palms to the back, and then without arching or moving anything else, we're gonna reach back as far as we can control. Bend the elbows and stack on the small of the back. Beautiful, we lift off. Straighten the arms, sweep it all the way around, find that Y, and to the back of the head. We got 2 more here. Now this is only gonna be as hard as you make it, right? So I want you to act like the air is made out of molasses. So we're moving nice and slowly, taking our time. Good, we're gonna take 1 more here. You should start to feel your arms, your back warming up. And we're working on that extension through the upper body. Finish out this last one. And we're gonna be in a nice 90-90 position here. So let's bring left leg front, right leg back, and we're gonna put 30 seconds on our timer. So again, in this position, we want 90-degree angle in the back, 90-degree in the front. We're gonna square off over that front leg. Last week, we worked on our internal rotation. Today, we're gonna work on some abduction, all right? So we'll talk about what that means in a second. Let's start to actively press both knees down into the ground without moving the torso. So really using the muscles around our hips to do this. We got about 5 more seconds. So what we're gonna do, we got left leg front. We're gonna start to walk over to the left a little bit, just to give ourselves more support. Eyes on me for what our back leg is doing. We're gonna lift, extend, and drop. Lift, bend, and drop. So you can go away from your leg as far as you need to. Sometimes people need the forearm, but what I don't want is as you lift, we're moving, okay? So get in a position that you need. You can kind of test it out for a second, and we're gonna go for 5 here. So big inhale. We lift, extend, lower, good, lift, bend, and lower. 4 more. That whole leg should move as a unit. So make sure we're not externally rotating at the top, meaning we're just lifting the knee. We got 3 more here. If you feel some cramping, that's super normal, especially if you've never done this before. We're working our end range of hip abduction today. 1 more here, and then we're gonna go right to the other side. Woo! Bring it down, and we'll switch. Very nice. So find that nice, strong 90-90 position, and we're gonna put 30 seconds on the clock. So again, squaring off over that front leg. You can keep it nice and relaxed to start. All right, let's start to actively press those knees down. Just warming up those glutes a little bit more. And then we're gonna do the same thing, lift, extend, bend, and drop. So let's find that lean away that we need. I like to bring my opposite hand on my opposite knee. Take a big inhale. We lift, extend, and down. Lift, bend, and lower. So I realized in my first one, I needed to be farther away. That's totally fine. We just wanna make sure the upper body does not move as we go. 3 more. Finish out your last one here. Woo! And shake it out. All right, very nice work. We're gonna need our bench or chair. We're gonna start with some incline scat push-ups. So, I'm gonna pull mine away from the wall. Our scat push-ups is where we're just isolating the shoulder blades. So, we're gonna find our incline, tuck the hips under so we're in that nice strong plank. We're sinking into the shoulder sockets, pressing away. So what we don't want is any elbow movement, all right? So elevate those hands. We're gonna go for 10 here. So we sink down and push. 2 and push. Inhale down, exhale, push. Good. Keep it going. This is 5 if you're with me. Make sure that low back is not starting to twerk. So tuck under, squeeze those legs. Last 3. Good, last 2. Last 1. Beautiful. We're gonna head down to the ground and we're gonna work on some isometrics. So we're gonna start with a single leg elevated isometric bridge. Same thing we did last week, 30 seconds here. So let's start with the left leg on top. Right leg is in our hover, heel digging into your chair or bench. We're gonna lift it up and hold in 3, in 2, and 1. So lift those hips up, pull your left toes up to the shin. Good, and we're just driving away from the ground here. So what are we gonna feel? Hamstring, glute. We're gonna feel this shin muscle, your anterior tibialis, not a word you ever really need to know. And you might feel some calf too. So that whole lower limb, lots of stabilizing happening here to keep the hips up. We're gonna go right to the other side, hips stay lifted in 3, in 2, and 1. Right leg down, left leg up. Drive the hips up and hold. Let's go through those checkpoints again. Pull the toes up to the shins. Squeeze those thighs together. They don't physically need to touch, but I just want you to get a little inner thigh activation here. Driving through the hips and pushing the floor away with those arms. Woo, you got 10 seconds left. Again, we're only doing this once, thank goodness. We're gonna come into a Copenhagen plank in 3, in 2, in 1, drop it down. All right, so last week we worked through our different progressions. Option 1, we've got the knee and the ankle supported on that top leg, bottom leg pulls in. Option 2, you start with a straight leg, both stacked. You can raise the top leg. Option 3, you can raise the bottom leg. That's gonna be the most advanced, okay? So pick your progression. Again, we're doing this every week until the end of this series, so hopefully you move up a level by the end. So pick your poison. We're gonna put 30 seconds on the clock. Let's start with one side in 3, in 2, and 1. 30 seconds here. So I'm gonna pick that middle one. That feels the best for me because I've sprained my ankles too many times. So always remember that a modification or a regression doesn't necessarily mean that it's worse or even that it's necessarily easier. It means it might be a better suit for your body all the time or maybe just today, all right? You got less than 10. We're gonna take a quick breather before we flip over to the other side. In 3, in 2, in 1, bring it down, nice. All right, we get a nice view of my butt for this one. Take a few seconds to set up. Let's raise it up in 3, in 2, and 1. So we're up. Take your time in your position. And then if you're doing that straight leg, you can raise one leg in or pull one leg in. Good, 10 seconds in, 20 left. Keep on breathing here, final 10. If those legs are straight, keep a soft unlock of your bottom knee. We're out of this in 4, in 3, 2, 1, bring it down. Woo! All right, strike that bench. We're gonna go for a little power circuit before we jump into our strength work, and we're gonna be working on our push pressing again. So last week, we just did our traditional push press, up and down, same tempo. Today, we're gonna do an eccentric push press. So what that means is we're gonna slow down on the down phase. So we've got one weight on the shoulder. I'm gonna take a prep in the legs, prep punch. We're gonna bring it down for 3, down for 2, down for 1. So that's gonna be a little more challenging because now we have to use our lat to help stabilize. We wanna make sure elbow stays in nice and tight to help protect the shoulder rather than coming out to the side, okay? So what we're gonna do is put 6 minutes on the clock. Every minute, we're gonna do 3 reps on one side. The second minute we switch, then we'll go back and forth. So we'll end up doing 3 rounds on each side, but we're just alternating so that we have enough rest time. Let's go for it. So we're gonna start with that right side so we all know what it feels like since most of us are probably right-handed. If you're thinking of what weight to choose, if you've never done this before, pick a medium weight. If you've done this before, you wanna go 1 to 2 weights up from your just strict overhead press, okay? Because you're gonna get that momentum from the legs. Let's go for it. 1 minute on the clock. We're gonna do 3 reps. The rest of your minute is rest time. Here we go, 3, 2, and 1. So, weights on that right shoulder. We're gonna prep punch, bring it down 3, down 2, down 1, 2 more, prep punch, down 3, down 2, down 1, 1 more, prep punch, down 3, down 2, down 1, bring it to the floor or to your bench. 20 seconds to rest before we do the other side. Very nice job. So as we're going through, questions, comments, concerns, you just drop them in the chat over there. But again, this isn't necessarily different from anything we've done before. Push pressing, we've covered a lot of times. This is just a tempo change, okay? So we say it every week. Don't let the fancy stuff muddle the basics. At the top, We want that full standing plank, every joint in alignment with each other, making sure that we pull the ribs down, tuck the hips under. You're not allowed to come down until you're stable, okay? We got 10 seconds. We're gonna go to that left side. So bring that weight to the shoulder, opposite arm out for tension. 3 reps, start it up when you're ready. So it's up 1, down slower. Good. Notice that I've got a pause at the top like a gymnast. You gotta stick the landing before you start to move. Once you hit 3, you're down, and we got 45 seconds left to rest. All right, great job, guys. So, right now, we've done 1 on each side. You probably have a stronger side. For me, it is my right because I'm right-handed. So let's say my left side felt absolutely terrible. I would say go down and wait for both sides. The reason for that is because we don't want to continue to feed the imbalance, right? So let's say I can do 30 with the right, but only 25 with the left. I'm gonna do 25 for both arms. Let that left side catch up, okay? We have 10 seconds left. Back to the right. So 2 more rounds on each side. Grab that weight, bring it up to the shoulder, opposite arm out, 3 reps. Prep punch, down slower, good, big inhale. Prep punch, bring it down. 1 more on this side. Nice job. Finish out your reps, 45 seconds. We're going left side. I'm gonna come check for form this time. Make sure we feel good. Let's talk about the power element of this, right? The power element is moving the weight from point A to point B as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So that's 2 things we want to look for here. Keeping the elbow in tight. We don't want to take the long way to get from point A to point B. The other thing I'm looking for is that leg drive. So that means we want to take a soft bend, use the legs to jump. It doesn't mean we need to squat, okay? That's gonna eliminate your power. Let's go for the left side. Rack it on that left shoulder. I got 1 with you, and then I'm running to check for form. Let's go for it when you're ready. Good, keep it up, keep it up. Nice, Maddie. Good, Natalie. Yes, good, Veronica. Yes, Alicia, that's great. Once you hit 3, you're done. Yeah, perfect, all right. Yeah, I'm glad I caught some of those. Okay, great job, everybody. So we're gonna do 1 more round on each side. The other thing to think about with power work, and this is why we're putting at the beginning, because this is all about moving quickly, the reps are gonna be really low. And that's why we're doing it at the beginning, and it's gonna really prime us for our bench pressing later, because now we have all of that, I like to think of it as like, we have a neural drive or muscle memory. And with the power work, we're kind of carving it out so that we're prepped for the stuff that's even harder because we're in it longer and slower. We got 10 seconds. Grab that weight, drop it, geez, don't drop it. Put it on your right shoulder. Yikes. Let's go for 3 more. Last time on the right. Whenever you're ready, 3. Once you hit 3, you can take your breather, shake it out. Nice work, 45 seconds, and then we're into that last round. So, let's just bring everything home. What are the basics? Standing plank. What's our tempo? As quick as we can, point A to point B, and stick that landing. Making sure that we're not doing a squat beforehand, so just a little prep. I think that was it, yeah. Don't let that elbow do anything funky. Keep it nice and tight. The way that I like to think of it is really using the lat to help stabilize on the way down. We got just about 10 seconds. We're gonna go into that left side. 3 more, so grab your weight, rack it on that shoulder. Here we go in 4, in 3, 2, and 1. This is it. Prep punch, down 3, down 2, down 1, 2 more. Prep punch. Once you're done that last one, ditch your weight. Great job. All right, let's jump into our strength block and talk a little bit more about the rest of our format tonight. So structure of today's workout for the remainder of it, we're gonna jump into our strength supersets. It's gonna be 2 exercises done back to back, no rest between, and then we'll take 60 seconds rest between each set. So first exercise is gonna be a front heel elevated kickstand deadlift. So as a reminder from last week, one leg is front, one leg is back. We don't need a lot of separation between our legs. And then an option to slightly elevate that front heel. From here, heel stays elevated as we go into our kickstand deadlift. Down and up. If you've only got one weight, you can hold it on either side. It's gonna be harder on the working side, okay? And if that just feels like that's way too much, keep that heel down, all right? You can really load up, work on your kickstand deadlifts. From there, we're gonna grab a medium weight and we're gonna go into our windmills. So we're coming into our half kneeling position. One side is up, one side is down. We're coming down the leg for 3, for 2, for 1. We pop it up 1. This is a hinge, so I'm thinking of aiming my butt back toward my heel, looking up at the weight, which we're adding from last week for safety. So reps here, we're gonna do 3 sets of 10 for our kickstand deadlifts, and then we're gonna do 3 sets of 5 for our windmills. Last week we did 8 reps with our front or with our deadlift, so you can either keep the weight the same, or if you're feeling really strong after the first round, you can always add weight, okay? But we're gonna go for 10 reps on each side, then we'll come down 5 reps each side windmill, then we'll take 60 seconds. Let's go for it. Grab 1 or 2 weights. We're gonna bring left leg front to start, right leg back. So to set this guy up, squeeze your armpits down. We're gonna lightly elevate that front heel, and we're gonna go for 10. Sending the butt back, drive the hips all the way back up. Your breath, inhale over, exhale up. Something that always helps me is really driving into my big toe on both legs. That's gonna help get your inner thighs fired and help stabilize your pelvis. If your pelvis is stable, your balance on point. If you're with me, 4 more on this side. Woo! All right, once you hit 10, switch sides. I'm switching my weights because this one's a little heavier, so I'm trying to load that standing leg. If your weights are the same, you do have to switch them. All right. So once you're done your 10, you go to the other side. Some other logistics we want to think about. What's the prime mover here? Hips. It's not about leaning forward or reaching forward. Your chest and your arms are only moving because your hips are moving. So that means relative to the rest of your body, your chest and your arms stay the same. Squeeze your armpits down. Make sure it's the hips that are causing your arms to move. Again, our reps are 10 for these. If you're with me, we've got 2 more. Once you're done, we're gonna bring it to the floor. We'll take a few more seconds for everybody to finish those out. And again, we're gonna grab a medium weight for this floor work. So, coming into, let's do left side first. So left arm is gonna be up. Back toes are tucked and I'm spiraling in that back leg, all right? Let's all make our way down there. We're gonna go for 5 here. Our tempo, we're sliding down the leg for 3, for 2, for 1, up 1. 4 more. Inhale down, exhale up.
Rising up, back on the street. Took my time,
Last one. Nice. Once you hit 5, you go right to the other side. So turn that back leg in, tuck the toes. We're looking up at the weight for safety. The other thing to think about is using the leg to find the floor. So instead of just blindly, ooh, that was scary, coming down, that's why we slide down the leg. It's also gonna help keep your center of gravity a little more center. I think I've got 1 more. If you hit 5, you're in your rest. Woo! All right, 60 seconds on the clock here. Questions, comments, concerns, drop it in the chat on the side. And let's start to just reset our weights so we can go right into set number 2. Let's talk about what we should be feeling. I think it's fairly obvious, but you never know because we got some fancy stuff here. So we're gonna feel the typical glutes, hamstrings. You're also gonna feel some foot, inner thigh, maybe some calf, okay? And then pretty much the same thing if that heel's down. For our windmill, we're gonna feel a big stretch in the hips, some shoulder obviously, and then probably some oblique. What we're trying to do pairing the windmill with the deadlifts is open up the posterior hip capsule or the back of your hip, so we have a little bit more mobility for these. We got a question coming in. Wrist position for the windmill. Yeah, if you're using a kettlebell, I'm gonna bring it forward, making sure that the wrist isn't curling backward. And then dumbbell, honestly, it's personal preference. I like to hold it neutral. You could hold it like that too if you want. But the biggest thing, just make sure your wrist isn't curling backwards, all right? Let's go for round 2. I'm gonna come check for form this time. So we got left leg front, right leg back. Grab your weights, lock those armpits in. Front heel elevated if you want that little progression. Let's go for it. Inhale back. Exhale up. Take your time. I know if you're here live, it feels like you have to keep up with me. You can always cut reps down if you need to. And if you're on demand, they can pause. Yes, Veronica, those look awesome. Good, yep, nice hip hinge. Good, Alicia, love that. Yeah. So Alicia's taking a little bit more athletic tempo on the way up. Fine by me. If that throws you off, down for 2, up for 2, okay? Yeah. Natalie, that looks great. Push your right hip forward a little bit just so you're not opening up. You're keeping squared off. There you go. Beautiful. Good, Maddie. Yeah, and y'all, once you hit 10 on one side, you switch, you go right to the other. These look great, everybody. Good job. Heel up or down, they look awesome. I'm gonna switch with you, 10 more. Let's talk about, why is the heel lifted? I'm actually surprised no one has asked that in the comments yet. You're probably thinking it though. So we always train flat foot, right? We talk about a lot of times finding that tripod, heel, toe, and pinky into the ground. But if you think about how we move day to day, we push off of the ball of the foot and that big toe a lot. If you're someone who likes to play sports for fun, or you like to run, that's gonna be a lot of this position, that push off. So why not train it as well? So it's basically just a nice advanced progression for people who have mastered heel on the floor. Doesn't mean that you always need to train this way, but that works with heel on the floor too. You don't always have to train that way. We're also getting a lot more stabilizers here. Once you hit 10, you make your way down. I think I got 2 more.
The road behind was rocky, but now you're feeling cocky. You look at me.
Nice. All right, we'll bring it down. We're gonna start with that left side up for the windmill, right side down. And again, big thing for our wrist, just make sure it's not curling backwards. I don't really care where the weight faces. Let's go for it. We got 5 here. Focus on that tempo. Take your time down, pop up. So it's like you're pulling back on a rubber band and shooting it forward. We got 5 on each side. Woo. Once you hit those 5, you're gonna go right to the other. So make sure you turn those back toes in, tuck them under. That's gonna give you more support from your glute. It also helps drill in, what are we working on here? That big toe extension. 2 more. Last one. Nice work. Minute on the clock. All right, 1 more round. I'm in it with you, get yourself set up. So, this is where we really get to reevaluate. How's the weight feel? How do the reps feel, okay? Even though today, the baseline would be same weight as last week, but we're adding, going up to 10 reps, right? If today you're feeling fire and you're like, I wanna add more weight, you go for it. If today you're not feeling so great and you wanna take the reps back down to 8, also totally fine. The biggest thing here is that we're kind of going along the way and understanding how we're progressing week to week so you can make the best decision, which is like what we talked about with the Copenhagens in the beginning, okay? Wow, that was the most Philadelphia accent ever, Copenhagens. Let's go for it. 10 seconds. We need left leg front, right leg back. So grab those weights and let's get this started. Really take your time with your setup. Can you square your hips off? Lift that front heel gently. Go for it, 10. Think of pinching your thighs together at the top.
Now, pretty lady. about to go down, and you know just what to do. Wave your hand in the air.
Once you hit 10 on one side, take a sec, shake it out. If you're being weird and using 2 different weights like me, or if that's all you have, switch them up, and let's go for it.
Come on, baby, tell me what's the word up. Everybody say, when you hear the call, you got to get it underway. Word up. It's the cold word. No matter where you say it, you know that you'll be heard. No, you're super DJs who think you fly. There's got to be a reason, and you know the reason why you try to put on those airs and act real cool. But you got to realize that you're acting like fools. In this music, we can use it.
Woo! All right, once you're done, strike those heavy weights. We're gonna grab our medium. Last round of our windmills. Let's do left side first. Right side is down. We'll give it a few more seconds for everyone to come on in. Nice work. All right, bring it down when you're ready. Here we go, 5 reps here, each side. Big inhale over, exhale up. I wanna see a strong tempo difference. Once you hit 5, you switch it up.
Downhill for low.
Woo! All right, finish out your reps, take your time. What we're gonna do next are some incline bench presses. So if you have a bench with an incline, you're gonna bring it up. If you have a bench, you're just gonna grab it. If you have no bench, you're doing this on the floor, all right? Honestly, it really does not matter regarding options, but I'm gonna show you. Okay, so first exercise is gonna be our incline bench. Again, we're gonna use the same weight as last week ideally, but now we're doing 10 reps. So we bring those weights up, scoot the shoulders underneath us, so we're gonna have a little separation between the back and the bench, great. Inhale down, exhale up. Notice that I'm coming out on more of a 45-degree angle than all the way out into a 90. Once we hit 10, we're gonna come to the back of our bench, or you can use a chair if that's what you need, and we're gonna work on those hinge liftoffs. So we're gonna find a nice strong hinge. We're gonna alternate this week. Right arm up and down, left arm up and down. It's gonna end up being 5 on each side, okay? 3 rounds. We're gonna start with the bench. Again, if you have a normal bench, you're doing just chest pressing flat. If you're using the floor, chest pressing flat, okay? Most important thing is just we're getting that horizontal push. So grab your weights of choice. I'm using 20s for reference. I always say whatever you can normal chest press, go like 1 level below, okay? Let's go for it. So grab your weights. We're gonna bring it, punch the ceiling, scoop those shoulders underneath you, inhale down, exhale up, 10 reps. Tempo can be pretty even. If you wanna zhuzh it, you can go down slower, up faster. Once you hit 10, you roll it up, ditch those weights, right around to the back, alternating lift-offs. So we find that nice strong hinge. I'm sitting back in my hips. I'm gonna focus at the bottom of my bench. Lift one side, bring it down. Other side, bring it down, 10 total, so it's gonna be 5 each side. I want you to really pull up, 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 without twisting.
It's a final countdown. The final countdown.
Once you hit 10, we're putting 60 seconds on the clock. Woo! All right, simple, easy. Take your minute. Questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the chat. And let's chat for a sec now that I have this lovely little seat to sit on. For our bench, again, instead of thinking straight out to the side, we wanna think a little bit more of an angle, okay? 2 reasons for that. It's gonna hit the angle of our chest fibers more specifically, which kind of grow in the diagonal. It's also gonna be better for the shoulder. We got a question coming in. Modification for one weight. I would say, Veronica, you could either do 5 on one side, 5 on the other, or if it's super heavy, you can just do it in the center, okay? So pick the variation that you feel the best with, especially if it's a kettlebell. Pick the thing that you're gonna feel the most comfy with, all right? Anybody else? Great, round 2. We got about 10 seconds, make your way down. So, let's talk a little bit more about breath this time, because a lot of times in this, we're holding it since we've got some heavy weight above the head. Scoop those shoulders underneath of us and go for it, 10 reps. We're gonna inhale down, exhale up. Other things we wanna make sure of, that we're not bouncing out of the bottom. So I like to think, pull down so you can push back up. That's gonna give you so much more bang for your buck and control. Once you hit 10, you're gonna bring it up and go to the other side of your bench or your chair. 10 lift-offs, alternating in your own time. So what we're trying to do here is work on our passive range of motion, so we're taking our passive end range, right? And we're trying to strengthen it basically. So we're trying to gain a little added juice out of it. Finish out your last one, and we'll put a minute on the clock. Great work, everybody. All right, 60 seconds here. Perfect. So, one more round. Flying through this one. In terms of what we should be feeling muscle-wise, chest, you're probably gonna feel a little bicep and tricep just getting engaged since we're moving at that elbow. And then back here, I ideally want you to feel a lot of lat connection. So what I want you to think about, as you're lifting up, I'm actively pressing down. What that's gonna do is stabilize my scapula or my shoulder blades through my lat. So it's gonna be more of like an isometric hold, but I want you to really find that full body tension, okay? We got 20 seconds, so adjust your shorts. I realized today that it looks like someone painted the front of my legs a different color from the back. That's what I get for not flipping over at the beach. Great. But if you've been around for a long time, you know at least I don't have that triangle tan from like 3 summers ago. That was a win. Let's go for it. So make your way down. We got 10 presses here in your own time.
A singer in a smoky room, a smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile I can share.
Once you hit 10, right around the back, we're going for those lift-offs. Remember, we want to actively press down as we lift up. So finding that nice opposition. If you're with me, this is 5, halfway. All right, once you're done there, ditch your bench. Hello? Hello, bench, thank you. Great. Ooh, okay. We're gonna need 1 to 2 heavy weights and then your mediums on the side. So we're gonna work on our reverse lunges. This should be about the same weight that you used for your deadlifts. Great. So we're gonna start with the left leg front, right leg back. Same thing, 10 on each side. After that, we're gonna do those drop lunges from last week, holding some weight now. So we wanna imagine the floor is splitting. We drop, bring it back up. Drop, bring it back up. That's a nice hover at the bottom. And we wanna think of just dropping rather than coming up to down, okay? So, same exact structure. 10 reps each side for our reverse lunges, 5 drop lunges each side. We'll take 60 seconds rest, 3 sets. Left leg front, right leg moving, 10 reps. We wanna push the tempo here a little if we feel comfy. Let's go for it. Inhale back, exhale front. So, if you've got one heavy weight, it's the same thing as our deadlifts. Holding it on the opposite side is gonna be a little more balanced. Holding it on the same side as the working leg, a little more of a challenge for your stability. Once you hit 10, you go to the other side. I'm gonna switch my weights. Now with your lunge, as always, you don't need to touch that knee to the floor. If you do, it's just a little peck, a little tap, right back up. But if you do not have the strength or the mobility for down there, don't do it. I only want you to work in the space that you can own. Woo. All right, that got a little crazy at the end there. Take your time. We're gonna meet for those drop lunges. So as you're finishing out, one more time, holding the weights is optional. I got mediums, I got 10s. The floor is gonna split underneath us. We catch, step it back up, okay? The goal is to stick the landing, just like our push presses, before we go on. Let's go, 5 on one side. So right leg is going back. Take a big inhale, drop, bring it up. 4 more.
Up the jam, pump it up while your feet are stomping and the jam is pumping. Looking at the crowd and jumping. Pump it up a little more. Get the
Once you hit 5, you go right to the other side.
and you find out if you do that. Oh, a place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight. Make my day. Oh, a place to stay. Get your booty on the floor.
Woo! 1 minute on the clock. Nice job, everybody. All right, questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We got 2 more rounds. I know, a lot of work tonight, so we're not gonna have our typical like mobility, relaxing, long session at the end. The way that I kind of formatted this, we're hitting a lot of those mobility checkpoints along the way, right? We hit a lot of that in the warm-up. We hit that with our incline bench. Even the windmills, that's gonna be more mobility trace. This is a little bit more plyometric based, okay? So I don't want you thinking like, oh my gosh, we're running out of time. We're good. This was planned. We have 25 seconds. I'm gonna come check for form this round. Reverse lunges should be fine. We do them all the time. So what that means, if you can load these up, if you have the ability to do that, make this feel like a 7 or 8 out of 10 intensity for our 10 reps, that's ideal, all right? We got about 5 seconds, so let's grab those weights. Left leg in front, right leg moving. Start it up when you're ready. Inhale back, tap. Good. Keep it up, 10 and 10. Nice, Veronica. Good. Love that range of motion. Good, Alicia. Yes. Nice control, Maddie. Don't let those weights pull you forward. Good, Natalie. That looks awesome. Love the control. Nice work. Again, once you hit 10 on one side, you're going right to the other. These look so strong, everybody. Keep it up, keep it up. Yes, and just a breath check. Are we breathing? Inhale back, exhale to step forward. Let's take about 15, 20 more seconds to finish these out. We're gonna go for those drop lunges. I wanna come see these too, because these are weird, they're different. So let's make sure we're all on the same page. Grab your medium weights if you're using them. Left leg's gonna go front, right leg back. So we take an inhale. Exhale, drop. Step it back up. We're gonna do this first side with you. Inhale. Exhale, drop. Good, 3 more, inhale. Exhale, drop. 2 more, inhale. Exhale, drop. Find that big toe in the front. 1 more. Exhale, drop. Good, switch sides. 5 more here. Yeah. All good, y'all. You're gonna stumble. You're gonna accidentally slam your knee into the ground. It's part of the game, okay? And then you're gonna hit one that looks awesome, Veronica. That looked great. Yeah. So So I want you to think of pinching your thighs together at the bottom. Good, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. One more round, everybody, one more. We'll have time for a quick little restorative stretch, and then we're out of here. You're crushing it. It's a long program. I know, there's a reason it's called Savage Strength, okay? So last round, let's think about finding control in our fully lengthened position. So we're doing the same thing here, right? We're basically moving one leg back, one leg forward the entire time. So what that means in terms of control in the lengthened position, at the bottom, even though we're moving through these lunges a little faster ideally, that doesn't mean we're losing tension, okay? So squeeze those arms against you like you're holding $100 bills under your armpits, and you're squeezing the crap out of your legs, okay? We got 15 seconds. One more round. 10 each side. Let's go for it. Grab those weights, left leg front, right leg moving. This is it. Start it up when you're ready. Oh my gosh, I flew. My inner thighs, oh my goodness. Switch sides when you're done. 10 more.
Let's get physical, physical. I wanna get physical. Let's get into physical. Let me hear your body talk. Your body talk. Let me hear your body talk. I wanna get physical, physical. I wanna get physical.
Woo! Once you're done, you're 10 and 10. Grab your medium weights if you're using them. We're gonna go for those drop lunges. We'll give it about 10 more seconds. Let a few more people catch up. Woo, woo. All right, left leg goes back. When you're ready in your own time. Once you hit 5 on one side, you go right to the other. Good, remember, find that stability at the bottom before you go.
I wanna get physical. Let's get into physical. Let me hear your body talk. Your body talk. Let me hear your
Woo! All right, finish out your reps. We're gonna meet seated. We've got a minute here. Let's bring soles of the feet together, finding our nice butterfly stretch. So pull up on the ankles, drive the knees down, in through the ribs, and out.
I will protect you from all around you. I will be here, don't you cry. For one so small, you seem so strong.
Let's bring that right leg out to the side. Sorry, left leg, and we're gonna twist to the right.
This bond between us can't be broken.
And we'll switch. Left leg in, right leg out. Big twist.
'Cause you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart.
Let's bring it back to the center, cross those legs. I know, that's it. We're gonna take one final breath. I know, we worked hard that whole time. Bring those arms up. Big exhale, pull it down to heart center. Take it with you for your night. Make a little noise.